Hi Blues, welcome back to Blue Moon Rising TV. It's pick the team time again and we are playing Chelsea on Sunday in the FA Cup 5th round at Stamford Bridge. And this is probably going to be the hardest ever pick the team. So that's why I've drafted in some help. Stephen, how's it going?
To do the dirty work, basically.
Yeah, you're going to take the fall.
Yeah, that's me.
If this all goes wrong.
And I'll never be seen again.
Yeah, disappear from YouTube forever. No, it's basically, so Pellegrini has dropped massive hints. Not dropped hints, he said that we are going to be playing a lot of youth team players on Sunday because we play in the Champions League 2 days later.
13 fit players as well, he said.
13 fit players. So, it's going to be very difficult. We're going to see, I don't think anybody knows what team's going to appear on Sunday. Maybe even some of the players don't. So what are the talking points? Pellegrini's press conference, the injuries, let's fire through them.
Delph's still out for a while.
Delph's out.
De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Nasri.
Yeah.
Navas. Mangala still recovering. Boni. You mentioned Sanya, he's only started training today, so he might be a doubt for it as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's just about it, really, isn't it?
Okay, so yeah, there's again we've had injuries for ages. It's something that's really affected our season, and on Sunday it's going to be really apparent. Let's get straight into the team because there's so much to talk about on each. There's no place that is nailed down. You know, everything's up for grabs. So let's start in net. Joe Hart, Willy Caballero, in the youth team, Angus Gunn.
Yeah, it's going to be hard though, I would have thought, given the fact that if you're going to play 4 or 5 with the kids, you do want the odd experienced kind of leader around them. Caballero, you know, he's cup keeper usually, but I would go for Joe Hart because he's without company there, which I presume won't play. I think he'll be the captain and be the leader. Okay,
so because of the rest of the team, which we'll get into, probably be made up of a lot newer faces, we'll say Joe Hart. Okay.
Yeah.
Back on the right back. What do you think?
If there was a kid about, it probably would have been Maffeo, but he's just gone on loan a couple of weeks back to Girona in Spain.
Yeah.
So that's ruled him out. Possibly James Horsfield has been on the bench before. He was a really sturdy, kind of functional right back and very reliable player. But I think he'll go for Zabaleta for similar reasons we mentioned with Hart. In terms of his experience and he's a leader.
Okay, yeah, just one of those older names there, that a bit of an authority. Okay, so let's say Zabaleta there. In centre-back positions?
Well, it's not going to be Company. It's not going to be Otamendi. So it kind of leaves us with Demichelis, really, doesn't it? I think he's going to be the wizened old pro who kind of steadies the fort.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah, okay.
Other than that, I actually think we'll see a full debut for one of the young centre-backs. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Cameron Humphreys, who's about half the age of Demichelis. But I would go for Tosin Adarabioyo, who's young England under-19 international. He's tall, strong, I think he's like 6'5", so he's a beast of a player. Fast, confident on the ball, and a year older than Humphreys, which in my opinion makes a difference at that level.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to get the experience, probably too much experience with Demichelis, and then Tosin, because I can't pronounce his surname. T, that's it, Mr. T. Left back, we're gonna say who?
They're both fit, aren't they? Clichy and Kolarov. So I don't think Angelino will play as much as I would love that to happen. I've got a feeling he'll plump for Kolarov. Okay. I just think he'll choose Kolarov and Clichy will start the weekend, then possibly even alternate again for the cup final. We'll see. But yeah, I think it'll be Kolarov personally. I'd love to see Angelino, but I can't see it happening. Okay,
we've got one of the few positions where we've got cover that's fit, so we're going to probably use our second choice.
Going off form in terms of Pellegrini selections, if there's cover, he will choose the experience. So.
Yeah, we know what he's like. Okay, so then for the formation, what do we think? We would normally play a 4-2-3-1. Do you think we'll follow through today?
I think he'll, given the fact that his EDS players involved, and the EDS tend to line up with a 4-3-3 kind of dismal formation.
Guardiola-esque formation.
Oh, that's the style and the intention. Well noticed.
On the ball.
I think they'll play 4-3-3, and I think they'll start the 2 young Spanish lads in midfield, Alex Garcia and Manu Garcia. They've been training with the first team quite a lot. Alex Garcia has been fantastic recently for the EDS, and they were both on the bench last weekend. So it seems that they're both going to start, and I think it'll be Fernando personally, who will kind of hold with Delph out and Yaya and Fernandinho not worth the risk.
Yeah, okay. All right, so a couple of young faces getting thrown into
I think they deserve it. I think people who don't know about Alex Garcia, he's a really intelligent player. He's kind of quite Pirlo-esque in his style, you know, pinging passes left and right brilliantly. He's really good at that.
Said before, his hairstyle's also modelled on Pirlo as well, right?
Exactly, yeah. He's got the sweeping looks going on and a questionable beard, but I can't talk, neither can we. And then Manu Garcia. Is obviously kind of a favourite of Pellegrini's, and rightly so. He's an exceptional young footballer, and I think he'll get his first start.
Yeah, and he's been around the first team. He's got his first goal with us, but yeah, this would be his first start if he were to on Sunday. Okay, moving forward.
Up top, I would have thought Kelechi will start. You don't want to risk Aguero now, do you?
No.
You want to wrap him away in a safe place.
Yeah.
Not let him out for weeks on end.
Lock the key. Yeah, stop talking about your personal dreams and let's talk about reality for a second.
It's beautiful, man.
No, it's a tear in your eye. But I think Kelechi, we trust him now, don't we?
Yeah, he's the shining light, you know, of what the younger players around him are aspiring to reach that level, because he's established himself now as pretty much one of the main men for the first team, in terms of he's a reliable member, and rightly so. And I think he'll lead the line against Chelsea.
Yeah,
personally.
Looking forward to seeing that. I think I'm quite excited. This is really getting me excited, the idea. I know it's good job you can't only see from the waist up. That's
not true.
Okay, moving on. So we've got Kelechi up front on his own. Moving on. And then we need two players on either side of him.
I would go, Salina's going to start, because he's been flitting in about the first team for a while now, and rightly so. He's a very gifted young footballer. He was brilliant last year on the run to the FA Youth Cup final. He's very, very skillful, very quick-footed, great long shot, can cross, can pass, very intelligent move of the ball. I think he'll start on the right wing personally, because he's played an either wing a few times for the EDS, so he would be the logical choice there.
Okay, and then on the other side?
I mean, ideally you'd like experience, but Sterling isn't going to start, because that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we expect to see him on Tuesday, and that's it.
Then there's probably three names I would put in the hat for this last kind of spot. I would go for Brandon Barker personally. He's an obvious choice. He's been in and around the first team for a while as well. Several bench appearances, not quite got on yet, but he's a very skillful left winger. It's his natural position, and he's potentially a game winner. He's got something in his locker that could bring something different. However, I would not be surprised if he went with someone like Sinan Batiki, who's another very talented young player who's been injured for a while but just got back from a very nasty injury, and he looks strong, very physical, kind of very direct winger with a lot of effort, a lot of energy, kind of that Milner take on a winger. Also maybe David Fapaula, can also play up front, young French striker that we signed in the summer. He's very willing, very able. He'll put in a shift, and he's quite strong as well. So he's the kind of player I wouldn't be surprised to see line up.
Okay, so there's a few wild cards.
Maybe even Angelino could stay on the left wing, because he's technically good enough. So
right. Okay.
We'll see, I guess.
Yeah, people say that possibly Angelino's weakness is his defensive game. Right?
Yeah,
so,
definitely. Yeah. He's very much the Jordi Alba take on the left back position.
Yeah, small, pacey, Spanish. So yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Cool. All right, so that's our attempt at knocking up a team for the Chelsea game. Yeah. If you don't think that we're right, well, you come here, we invite you on to have a guess at that, because I don't think anyone can do any better. Well, we'll see on Sunday. But
everyone wrong.
Every single position, we'll see, and then we'll pull the video. Anyway, let us know, what young players do you think should start? Who do you want to see? Who are you most excited about? Let us know below, because last point, Chelsea are going to put out a very strong team, aren't they? Because it's their best chance of getting silverware.
It's salvation for them, isn't it, this year?
Yeah.
They struggled against PSG the other day. They're obviously not in the Carling Cup, not going to make Champions League. They'll want a trophy, because obviously it's great to win a trophy, but it's just, it's a feel-good factor for the next season, isn't it? So I think they'll go for it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to go for, really.
That's the worrying thing, isn't it? But anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully our young EDS players can...
It's difficult. I wouldn't really kind of usually want to throw that many in together at the same time because you want to test them in an environment around the first team players, you know, 8 or 9 regulars to ease them in, to get them to feel part of the first team, because that's when you test their ability amongst players of a better quality. As it is, they're just basically amongst the teammates, so it's going to be very much baptism of fire, and I would not like to be the young centre-back playing against Costa on your debut. It's not going to be easy.
I don't think I would want to be Demichelis playing against, Costa either, but it's going
to be a physical midfield as well, because Chelsea have strong players there.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, and they'll definitely learn from it. So.
Yeah, well, it's happening whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
And, you know, we want to see him playing the young players, so we've got it. We've got what we wanted, even if it happens to be against probably a full-strength Chelsea. Never mind. Let us know your predicted scores. I'm going to go for I don't know what I'm going for. What are you going for?
I would take a respectable defeat. I know that sounds really negative, but given the fact that it's a strong Chelsea and they were the champions last year, like it or not, against a bunch of a very potchy, mismatched team. Potchy, it's not even a word.
But sounds right though.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I think. Do you think this is one of the few games in our season that we're going to go into it as the underdogs?
Yeah, and I think the club know that as well.
Yeah.
I think Pellegrini's kind of downplayed expectations a little bit, and he's even hinted at not sacrificing the competition, but he has no choice but to play a weakened team. So, do you know what? The lads kind of like, you know, they lost 2-1 and they gave a good account of themselves, and that's not a bad thing. We get to focus on the other competitions. The optimists would say they would surprise everyone and you know, grab a 1-0 victory or whatever, but got to be realistic.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's the first time anyone's ever predicted a loss for City on a particular team. Just let you know. But no, I think you're right. I think it's good to be realistic. I think we should put the dampeners a little bit on us,
just see it as an experience,
running around. Yeah, that's it. So we've got to limit expectations a little bit. Okay, guys. Stephen has kindly come on and put himself in the firing line today. If you want to see him come on more and do maybe some in-depth discussions about some players,
sure.
Then let us know which players do you want us to look at. I'm sure we can grab Stephen to come on again. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, leave a comment below, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we will see you in a bit.